Friday! Cheers!
Cheers! Okay, so it's Friday. We're at the end of the week. What is Friday's forecast looking like?
Yes. Sorry, I had to think for a second because it's been, a wild week. The Wild Wild West with interest rates.
Yes.
So it was just one of those minutes they're like, No, the Friday forecast is expect the same, I think, for a little while, what things are going on.
Okay.
Interest rates, will fluctuate a little bit. Nothing drastic, nothing major. But I keep going back to the fundamentals of don't focus on the interest rate, focus on your payment.
Yes.
Right? So really be payment focused. One of the things that I want to point out to anybody looking at this video, please go to our YouTube channels so you can see all our videos we have, because we really are trying to educate, right?
Right.
Not only do we have videos about what's happening Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, as far as the markets, we also have our videos about ADUs. We have that series if you're interested in ADUs. But there's so much information in there that we provide. And we keep telling all our clients that you need to be payment focused. If you focus on the interest rate and you're waiting for the perfect rate, the likelihood of it happening, minimal.
Fair.
Or when it happens, you may not get it, right? It's like, I do have clients, and it's happened in the past, where they're like, I want this interest rate. And that interest rate hits, and then it goes back up, and they missed it because it doesn't work that way. So if you're thinking of buying, you need to be focused on what you can afford or what you're comfortable with making as a mortgage payment, right? Because that is really what is going to be your peace of mind, not the interest rate.
And I want to also add to that, because when you're looking at interest rates at 7% versus 2% like it was back in 2016 time, also taking into account the purchase price, because the purchase price and the interest rate, those two fluctuate. They're kind of on a balancing act. So regardless, I think the reason why a lot of our consumers have to be payment focused and payment driven is because regardless of what the interest rate is or the purchase price, in the end, it's all going to balance out on what the payment is going to be. And that payment is going to determine whether or not you can qualify for the $600,000 house or a $1 million home. I think the lower an interest rate is, the higher the purchase price will be, or vice versa. The higher the interest rate, the lower the purchase price might be. So, and the reason why is because the market wants to see that steady balance. However, there is always going to be appreciation. Purchase prices are always going to increase. Over a 100-year time span, you'll see how the market goes up and down, up and down. However, longevity-wise, it's always increasing.
Yes.
A $20,000 home in La Jolla is now worth $20 million in La Jolla. So even across time, we can all agree that interest rates and appreciation and housing market is always going to increase. However, if we can get you to qualify and afford the payment that you can feel comfortable budget-wise in today's market, that is what we need to make a shift our focus on.
And just to kind of hit the nail and drive that nail through, clients that purchased when rates were 7%, and they, let's say 2 years ago, right? They purchased at 7%. Some of those clients have already refinanced and lowered their payments $500, $1,000 less, but they purchased a home at the price from 2 to 3 years ago versus today. So they have all this built-in equity. In fact, some of those clients have already sold. Like one of your clients has sold a property, and I don't remember how much equity they made on that property, but they purchased it and sold it. So by taking the step of home ownership, you're taking the step of building your equity, having security. God, you know, even if you're not building equity, just knowing that you have your home, it's yours, right? It's safe. It's your safe place for you and your family. Owning a home does a lot for our emotional part. It gives us security. It gives, if you have children, a place they can call home, schools they can go to without having them to move. Because when you're renting, you can be asked to move, you know, if the owner wants the home back after a year. So home ownership really does a lot more than just having a roof over your head. But if you're thinking about dollars, building equity, it's amazing what a home can do versus saying putting $100 in your bank account or 200 or 300. Yeah, it's going to grow, but equity on a home in San Diego will outpace your savings account all day long.
Yes, the number one misconception and the biggest mistake for first-time home buyers is thinking that renting is a much cheaper way of living life versus owning, because all they see is the big dollar sign. They see a $5,000 mortgage. Oh no, that's not for me. Even though they're renting, you know, $3,000 or even half the payment at $2,500, that sticker shock is definitely real. However, if they're able to really understand the equity and the security that you are talking about and how it's worth it, I think only until then can we make this shift from renters into buyers, because the renting side of things is a very short-term gratification. Buying a home, that sense of security, that is a long-term sense of gratification. So if we can have a shift, a paradigm shift from short-term gratification to long-term gratification, in which this case, it's even harder now to help the average consumer understand that process, because we all have social media. We all get a dopamine rush after 3 seconds. So having to delay that instant gratification is very difficult in today's world.
Yeah.
And knowing that according to the National Association of Realtors, the number one real estate consumer right now are millennials. We're looking at anywhere between the age of 36 and 43 years old. Those are our first-time home buying clients right now in today's world. And what we're seeing in San Diego is a lot of people who are constantly scrolling, wants the instant gratification, and is very hesitant in creating a plan. And that's where we come in. That's what a mortgage broker and a real estate professional is here to do for our consumers. Is we're here to strategize with them, to take their fears, look at their entire financial diagnosis, understand what exactly it is that they need in order to position themselves to get into the market. And I think that's why we stand out as a team working together, is because we have belly-to-belly conversations, meeting them in our office, helping them understand, look, we're not just here looking at you as a transaction. We're more than that. We're here to develop a relationship, because our relationship doesn't just end at the closing table. It goes beyond that.
Yeah.
And I think once you start exceeding the expectations of the first-time home military buyer and exceeding their expectations as far as what goes into the journey of home buying, I think it's only then we start receiving their family members, their friends, and all of their acquaintances that they see at work to share our information with them for the next generation to come.
Our consultations, and I want to drive this, we meet with clients. So if you're watching this video, we will meet with clients for 2 hours, right? Because we really want to have that dive deep into their finances, their credit for the pre-approval. We also want to dive deep into their needs of what they're looking for. So it is not a let's just get you in and out fast food type of scenario. It's like, no, we want to really get to know you. We want to get to know what you want, right? Not what we want, what you want. And then what are your fears, if you have any, so that we can talk about them and then help you through the process. So it's really a deep consultation. And a lot of our clients, when they leave, I know they leave feeling way better than when they came in. And some of them leave pre-approved, ready to go shopping. So this is definitely, if you're looking for a team that is going to take their time, that it's not just thinking about dollars, more about relationships, we are the team. And I mean that because we do spend the time and the quality to create those lasting relationships. So you guys, if you're watching this video, please, if you like it, share it, or you know someone, send them our way. And I also want to point out again our VA seminar that we're having.
April 18 at 11 a.m. here at Foundation Escrow, here at the lounge. If you don't know about it, click the link below. We are going to put all of our information down, send you all of the information that you need, and even the myths that we're hearing about the VA loan. You don't want to miss this because it has a lot of insightful information with Ruben here, our mortgage broker expert. He's going to really educate us on what the military loan benefit really looks like.
And Angelica here, she's not saying much, but she is going to help you find the property that you're looking for that's going to fit your immediate needs, right? So you don't want to miss this. We're going to bring a lot of information. It's going to be something that you could take with you, and hopefully we can help you find your next home.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday, everyone.